Okay, let's go.
It's Tom with Real Life. And today we are really going to talk about some real life. Today I have a special guest with me. I'm up in Richmond. We are actually inside the War Memorial in Richmond.
Yeah.
This fine building that you see behind us, we figured it was a very apropos place to film this particular episode. So with me today is a friend of mine. This is Zack.
Yep. Hey,
And
y'all.
Zack has been around for the worst of my life and now is sober during the best part of my life, which is amazing. It's fantastic to run into someone that you were in active addiction with that is sober also.
Yeah.
I can now be friends with my friend because I don't have to worry about him saying, hey, you want to cop some dope?
Yeah.
So thanks, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
No, I appreciate you. Yeah, I appreciate
You know what I'm saying? We
you,
don't
bro.
have to worry about nobody's going to call anybody up anyway. You know what I'm saying? So
We've had some time together, bro.
absolutely. We've definitely had some interesting moments.
We've had fallouts. We've had it all, bro.
Hey, look at you know what? Friends have that.
Yeah.
You and I have never went to blows.
No.
Never went to blows.
Nope.
We've been mad at each other. We've
Nope.
had arguments, most of them behind a woman.
Yeah.
A lot of it.
You know, a lot of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some money issues.
And money issues.
Yeah, money issues.
But you know what, man?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you're still my friend.
Yeah. You're my
You know what I'm
brother,
saying?
man. I love you, bro.
And I have always, even when I was in active addiction and you were, I always hoped that you would get the hell out of that.
Yeah.
Even if I didn't, I hoped you did. Anyway, so the reason why I've got Zack on here today is I wanted to come up here and I wanted to share a little bit of Zack's story because much like my story, it's ironic, they all kind of mesh. Isn't that kind of crazy how the stories all kind of fit together?
Yeah.
No matter what. So
Yeah.
let me ask you a couple questions. I do want to address a couple things.
Okay.
There's some questions I want to ask you. So first of all, what's your clean date?
10/28/2023. That's October 28th. My last use.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Outstanding. Now, have you had clean time before that?
Multiple times.
Sure.
I tried to do it on my own.
Right.
Don't suggest it.
I don't either. I don't either.
I don't suggest it.
I told myself one time, I can do this by myself. I don't need to go to meetings. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Okay.
Within 2 weeks, I'm using again.
Exactly.
So, and another question I have for you is, who is responsible, other than yourself, for taking responsibility on your own to get sober? Who helped you in this path?
So the place that I came from, man, Evolution House.
That's their shirt, isn't it?
Yeah, this is their shirt, man. They're local. They're out of Williamsburg, Virginia. I just want to thank you, Ryan, Jeffrey. They're the owners. Henry, Steven. They're all the PRSs. Man, they still contact me till this day, man.
Good.
And I left their treatment facility back May 7th of this year. I did about 7 months there. They gave me a little extended stay, and that's how much they cared about me. They were more worried about my health than my problem. They wanted to make sure that my health was okay before they sent me on.
Right.
And that just shows like they're caring. It's not about money. It's not about who's going to pay for this. They truly, genuinely saw in me what I didn't see in myself.
At the end of the day, that's what it's about.
And for them to pick up the phone and call me weekly and check on me, and they have that brotherly love. They showed me how to love myself, and I want to thank them, man. They have a big part of my recovery, and you see these glasses right here. Evolution House funded $479 for these glasses to get me glasses.
Outstanding. So that's Evolution House, right?
Yeah, it's in Williamsburg.
So I just want to make sure it's in Williamsburg, Virginia. Yep. Evolution House. Big shout out to you guys.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome. Thank you for helping my friend.
Yeah.
I appreciate that immensely. And my heart goes out to you guys. And anytime, if you guys contact me, I'm willing to do any volunteer work, any help I can for you. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned this yet, and you may have caught it on some of my videos, because, by the way, Zack's a consummate watcher
Yes,
of
I
the
do.
show, my show, and After Prison show,
Yes,
which,
I
by the
do.
way, Joe, I wish you could have been here today, man. We
Yeah.
were really kind of hoping to get you up here.
I can't
But it
wait
is
to meet
Father's
him.
Day,
Yeah.
and you know what, man? It's better for you to be with your kid.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's where you belong. And happy
Yeah.
Father's Day to every father
Happy
out there.
Father's Day, man.
But
Happy Father's Day to you,
thanks,
bro.
man. Thanks. So I don't know if you're aware of it or not, but I am starting my peer recovery specialist training.
Are you? Me
Yes.
too.
So I'm getting certified.
And me too.
This month.
I'm looking to that path also,
You
man.
should.
Yeah.
You should. Because the saying is, you can only keep what you have by giving it away.
Yeah.
And you know what? As cliche as that statement is, it's the truth. Because when you share your story,
Yeah.
your testimony, so to speak,
Yeah.
to another struggling person in substance use disorder, they're able to relate to you on a level that they can't with someone that's never been there.
Yeah.
That's something that I think needs to change a little bit in specifically the mental health and substance use disorder field. I think that they need to go ahead and address it. I think there need to be more peer support specialists out there helping turn this crisis around, because this is a crisis.
Yeah.
People are dying
It's life or
by the
death.
hundreds.
Yeah.
This is not a joke. This is not a game. Fentanyl is terrible. Xylazine, terrible. This crud that's in the methamphetamine,
Yeah.
the crystal meth, it's in everything now. So we're at a point where we're watching people poison themselves and we're not doing anything. It's time to stand up and do that. So, and I'm glad to see you take responsibility for your own actions,
Yep.
make the right move, and go in the right direction. So, another good question. You're working now.
Part-time, 2
Okay.
days a week at
All right.
McDonald's,
Okay.
back where disability is one of my things, man.
Right.
I've been trying to get it, and I know it's going to be a question you'll ask, so I'll wait to get into that one.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Yeah,
Sure.
but yeah, I'm working at McDonald's again, where I was working before,
Okay.
different area.
Cool.
What
do you
place, man, they're awesome. I went in there, was honest with them, and that's what I've learned in recovery is to be honest, not just with myself, but with other people now, man.
Well,
Like,
it's. You know what?
mm,
There's a statement. Honesty is key.
yeah,
It really is. Honesty
Yeah.
is key. By the way, shout out to my friend Emily for getting that tattooed on her. She got a key with the word honesty literally woven into it. I did the tattoo. She's still a little mad about that situation, but we'll get into that later.
talk about tattoos, huh?
Yeah, we're talking about some tattoos. Yeah, well, you know, I do a couple tattoos, and we're not going to talk about that right now. Don't talk about that. Anyway, but so Zack has been around for some situations
Yeah.
that if I allowed him to talk about them on camera, I probably would be a little embarrassed. No, not a little embarrassed, a lot embarrassed. So
That's how we met.
yeah, that's kind of how we met, was through the tattoo work,
Yeah.
and a mutual friend, a female friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, a couple of them actually.
Yeah.
A couple of female
Couple of
friends. Yes. So the other question I have for you has nothing to do with your recovery. Has nothing to do with the sober living environment or your job or anything else. How are things with you and your family now?
It's 100% different. There's still like barriers with certain of them, but like I have a relationship with my mother, my dad. They've been my biggest support.
Cool. Good deal.
I was able to see my sister for the first time last weekend that I haven't seen in years, and they're all coming around and they're starting to notice that change. The old Zack is back, you know,
Right.
and they've had to distance themselves from me
Yep.
because of my addiction, and I held grudges, you know, I held resentment
Mm-hmm.
towards them all because I'm like, I needed help this whole time. Where were y'all?
Right.
And the whole time they were there, I just didn't know it.
Well,
you know.
this is something that, and you will. There's the expression, "You learn to learn."
Yeah.
You learn that they never stopped caring. They never stopped loving you.
Yeah.
They just didn't like who the fuck you were.
Yeah.
And because of that, they were scared of you.
Yep.
They were scared that they were going to get a phone call at 3 o'clock in the morning that you were dead.
That's funny you say that, because my mom, the happiest she was, she tells me to this day still, the day you get locked up when you were getting high was the happiest day of my life, where I can go to sleep at night.
Yep.
And because she knew I'd be safe. And that broke my heart.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a sad thing, man.
Yeah.
So Zach, you've done some jail time, and I think you went to prison for a little while. Hey, do you want to share a little bit about your prison experience? I mean, because my viewers are interested in stuff like that.
Yeah.
And before I go any further, I want to make sure I shout out to Joe.
Yeah.
After Prison Show, and all the APS Army out there that are standing behind me and helping me provide this content for you, man.
Yeah.
Look, Joe is a fantastic human being. Matt equally is a fantastic human being. The shout out to Anchor Away Junk Removal. That without those people, I wouldn't be here right now interviewing Zach. I wouldn't be able to.
We've been trying to do this for a long time.
We've been trying to do it for a while.
Yeah.
I got the vehicle, and now I was able to do this. And you're going to see more content like this. There are people that I know that don't live in the area where I live in Tidewater that I can't see or couldn't see because I didn't have a vehicle. Now I can, and I'm going to bring that content to you. I want you to hear these people's stories. Zach, go ahead. Tell my subscribers, my fans, your fans now.
Yeah.
Your fans now.
Yeah.
Tell them how it was when they gave you your time in the courtroom.
Which time?
the very first one.
All right, so the very first time I got locked up, it was in 2018. I got caught with possession, Schedule 1 with a firearm. Bad thing. Don't do that.
Yeah, it's a bad idea.
No
drugs and guns.
Yeah, look,
you can have drugs. You can have guns. Don't have them together.
So I was sleeping in the passenger seat of my truck. Mm-hmm. My friend, this guy, he's not even my friend, was driving my truck. I had a firearm that was legal. I didn't know it at this time. I thought I wasn't committing a crime. I was just a drug addict. I got caught up with all the charges. Got out on bond. It was scary. My mom left me there for 30 days. I got sentenced for that in 2019. It was all suspended, put on probation. I was like, man, I'm bucking on probation. They're gonna have to find me. I'm not doing this probation.
How'd that work out for you?
I lasted a month. I showed up for probation. They violated me.
Yeah.
I did my little 4 months for my first violation. Came out September of 2019, and I never made it more than 30 days or 90 days on the street.
So I have a question. I'm going back to when you were standing in front of the judge said, "I'm sentencing you to the Department of Corrections."
Yeah.
How'd you feel, buddy?
I didn't. I didn't know what to think. But this last time that I got locked up, I never actually went through any type of treatment facility, and I kept pushing the paperwork to try to get into rehab for my sentencing. And they kept shutting it down. They were like, no, the prosecutor's not budging. They want to give you all your time back. And I'm just like, I'm a drug addict. Like, I got 5 years over my head. And the judge, when I went in front of him, that's exactly what the prosecutor said. He doesn't listen. We don't care that he's a drug addict. He's not. He's defiant. And Judge Patrick looked at me in the beach and said, I want to give you all your time, but I'm not going to do that. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you 2 years and 3 months. I'm going to send you to the Department of Corrections. And hopefully you can learn, and I'm not giving you any type of rehab. Hopefully you'll learn there. And I'm just like, oh, God. So now I'm like, and in this process, I've lost the rights to my child. The same judge took away my child 2 weeks before that. and I sat in Virginia Beach City Jail for 18 months during COVID before I even made it to the penitentiary. One night I was getting this tattoo done, and 10 minutes after being done, they're calling me to pack up. And I just got this done in the jail, and it's still bleeding. And the next thing you know, they're like, yeah, you're going up the road. And I was scared shitless, you know?
So tell me, what did you think? I'm serious, because people don't know this. What did you think was going to happen? Yeah, I know, because I've done 30 years in prison. And by the way, I want to say something, because I want you to, I'm not trying to get you to be my yes man. So please, please, I'm just going to say something. I don't have any sex charges. I want to make sure that that's clear. Whoever out there thinks that in their mind, you're highly confused. Yeah. I was under an alias because my identity was stolen.
Yeah, I already know.
And I'm not giving you my alias because my son's name is tied to that. I don't want you guys hunting my son down. There you go. So I addressed it. It's out of the way. Anybody has any other questions? There you go. Anyway, so and I think you know.
Yeah,
you know what I've done.
I know what you're talking.
Yeah, and you know what I've done in prison. Anyway, so you said you're scared shitless.
Yeah, I was. I've never been up the road.
What'd you think?
They didn't tell me like what it was all about. So I didn't really have understanding. But when I got there, they sent me to Dillon. I went to Dillon for receiving. There was 100 of us at the time because, like I said, I was there. I was in the stint of COVID, the worst part of like my and I think COVID because that's the last time that I've been locked up because I had the worst experience of being locked down for weeks at a time in the jail, not having nothing, man.
When you say locked down, these people don't know what that means.
Quarantine pod. So I was in a lot of different quarantine pods.
So when you're in quarantine, that means you can't do anything, right?
It's 23 in one.
You're just stuck in the building and you can't do anything.
Yeah, 23 hours a day in the cell with either a cellmate or by yourself.
Right.
And you get 1 hour at a time to come out. And that little 1 hour, you get to shower or use the phone. And I got always stuck into a pod where COVID would come back. And like, we're locking it down for 2 more weeks. So finally, when I got to the penitentiary, I'm walking. They're giving me my blues and all that.
Hold on.
Yeah.
They don't know what blues are. They don't know what you're talking about.
It's some fake jeans.
With an elastic waistband.
Yeah, the elastic waistband. A wannabe dress shirt. And it was the middle of summertime, and it was long sleeve.
Yeah.
And I was a big guy at that time too, because I've been locked up for almost 18 months, and I was eating them steak trays. You know, I love them steak trays. That SOS was my favorite.
For those of you that don't know about the SOS in prison, it's the most. It's horrible. It really is. In the real world, my dog would need it. But when you're in there, you will eat the tray. If you're hungry enough.
Yes, you
will.
Ahead,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right, so they give me all my items that I was supposed to get, and I end up getting stuck into the same pod with 100 of the same inmates that I'd just been locked up with for 18 months because they sent 100 of us to Dillon Correctional.
Nice.
So now I'm in here with these clowns that I've been doing 18 months with, and it was just like, oh my goodness, it's like
can't get away from them.
I can't get away from them. And finally, I was there supposed to just be there for receiving, and they're like, oh no, we're going to keep you here. We're just waiting for your classification to come back. Which
and classification, so you guys, I'm trying to explain it. I hate to cut you off.
Yeah, it's
but classification is where the administration says what your security level is and what your good time earning level is.
Yeah.
And in Virginia, we have a point system. 1 through 5 is your security, and then you have a 1 through 4 for your good time earning. They have just recently went to a 65% versus the 85%.
I didn't smell it.
No, yeah, you didn't get to smell it. I didn't get to smell it either.
I didn't smell it.
It's okay. You know what? It's all right.
Yeah, I'm not going back.
How was your stay at Dillon? Because I was there, and I'll tell you that
it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It was actually a lot better than I thought it would be. You know, because
it wasn't as crazy as you thought, right? When you think about prison, people are always like, "Oh my God, they're gonna rape me! Oh my God, they're gonna do this!"
So
I'm gonna be fighting every day.
If anybody doesn't know, my both my cousins have been incarcerated in the Department of Corrections for the past 20-something years. One's a gang member, which I'm not going to get into all that, but my last name is well known in the system. Mm-hmm. So I was good. You know, everybody kept me under their umbrella, as they would call it, you know, because of who my family is. So I was straight. You know, and that was I'm not gonna brag about that, but it was a blessing because I didn't have to look over my shoulder, worry about somebody fucking with me, which I'm not gonna let nobody fuck with me anyways, because I'm not that type of person. But I tried to stay out the way, and I did my bid how I wanted to do it. Yeah. When I got a TV, my little 13-inch TV, I never came out the rack. You know, I got my little $40 of commissary, and I watched TV. I think I did all about 9 months of doing, about 10 months or so, from August to March 4th, I was at Dillon. And
I'm going to interrupt you. I was trapped there when Alonzo Logan escaped.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I was there from Nottoway. I was on loan.
Yep.
I was supposed to be helping them in VCE to install the robotic welder in the metal shop. Yep. While I was there doing it, Alonzo Logan hopped the fence, and I got stuck there another 4 months before I could get back to my institution.
Yeah.
Horrible situation for me. I was used to being in a cell environment. A majority of my time, the 15 years I did the very first time in prison for robbery, abduction.
Yep.
I did in cells. Southampton Farm, Greensville, Keene Mountain, and then I went to Lunenburg, and I went home from Lunenburg Correctional Center. That was out there. Second time around, I hit Nottoway. Went from Mecklenburg to Nottoway Correctional Facility, from Nottoway Correctional Facility to Lunenburg Correctional Facility, and with a trip in between to Dillon. So you never really got to travel. You never really traveled to other prisons.
And I did, and I didn't. And like I said, I was there for COVID, so I didn't even get the real. I didn't get the real penitentiary experience.
Yeah,
because they didn't have the open yard time. Right. It was only my pod coming out. And this is what I want to say is, like, I came from the environment of the county jail or city jail, right, and that was cell environment. And I went to an open pod.
Open door.
There was like 100 fucking people there.
Yep.
And it's all, it had its times where it was rowdy.
Five showers.
Yeah.
5 shitters, 4 urinals, and 5 sinks.
And 100 people. Yeah.
You do the math. Yeah. You figure it out. If everybody's got to shit at one time because they had chili, you got a problem.
Yeah. But we made it work, man. You know.
Back toilet.
Yeah.
Back shower.
Yeah, back shower.
You straight back there? No, I ain't straight. You trying to straighten it for me?
So, I didn't really get I got enough of experience to where March 4th, 2022, I came home, and even though I went right back to my addiction that same day I came home, mm-hmm. I haven't been back to not one time being violated or locked up. Mm-hmm. It taught me not to want to go back. Okay.
So you learned your lesson from going to prison?
Jail, prison, none of that. Like, and this is the longest I've been home, you know. Well, and
this is a godsend for you.
Yeah,
it really is. Your transformation from drug dealer, drug addict, and we have several other titles that are in there, but we're not going to throw those out there.
Yeah.
You know, when you're on drugs, you will do some fucked up shit to people.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You do fucked up shit to yourself.
Yeah, you do fucked up shit to yourself, but you do some fuced up shit to people too. You know what I'm saying? Take things that don't belong to people, shit like that.
Yeah.
Anyway. I don't think there's a statute of limitations in Virginia.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah. So,
you just reminded me.
Yeah, I'm just saying. It's funny now.
Yeah.
Wasn't funny then. Wasn't funny then. So, look, the other thing that I wanted to talk to you about is I would really like for you to talk to some of the guys in your house.
Yeah.
If they have stories that they're willing to share, I think my viewers would love that.
Yeah.
If there's anybody that's in there that's got has done prison time,
Yeah.
my viewers, my fans, my subscribers, my army out there,
Yeah.
Joe's army out there.
Y'all are very I'm there with y'all. I've been following it ever since Tom did his first story on At the Prison Show.
Yep.
And I've been hooked since I seen your story come up there. And I want to talk a lot about where my addiction did start.
Sure, go ahead. Let's do that.
Because I feel like that needs to be out there.
Yeah, yeah.
You want to ask any questions on where it started?
Well, yeah. So when did you first start using? What caused you? How about that? Let's start there.
Okay.
What caused you to start using drugs?
All right, so on January 13th, 2015, I was ultimately hit by a car on my moped. The lady pulled out on Greenbrier Parkway in Chesapeake, Virginia. I just got a job at Cracker Barrel that morning. I was leaving the last interview. I just got hired. I was so happy, and I had this little moped that did like 80 miles an hour, and there's a video out there. If anybody wants to see it, we can bring that in. It's crazy.
I'll put a link.
Yeah,
I'll get the video.
Yep.
I'll get the video link from him. I'll link it to the bottom of this.
Yeah.
Please take a look at it.
It's crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah,
when I say it's crazy, it's really crazy.
I hit the car. Y'all can watch it. I do a Superman fly, and if it wasn't for this video, I wouldn't have known what happened.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I broke everything from here down in my right side, my femoral rod, pelvis, my hip, both my wrists. I ripped my nose off, my big toe. Ultimately, all because a lady failed to yield. I was in the hospital for a month. I went through so many surgeries, probably about 5 surgeries, major. The last one I did, I lost a lot of blood. I had to get a blood transfusion. At that time, I was on morphine drip, Percocets, a whole bunch of shit that I just didn't know about. You know, I wasn't an addict at the time. Yeah, I smoked a little weed before then. I didn't know anything about hardcore drugs. When they sent me home with a hospital bed that was put in my mom's dining room.
Right.
And they set me up there and was just left me to rot. And they sent me home with refills of these medicines that I kept taking for almost 10 months. I had to teach myself how to walk again. I never had insurance at that time, waiting on a settlement. And then one day I went into the doctor's office and like, yeah, we're taking you off all these opiates, the Percocets and the morphine. And I didn't know. I didn't know what was going to happen, but I was
immediate withdrawals.
Immediate withdrawal, and I didn't even know what a withdrawal was.
Right.
And that's where it started.
Wow.
Then by 2016, I had met my child's mother. She was pregnant. I was introduced to cocaine. Cocaine's a hell of a drug, as what's his name would say.
Yeah, it intensifies your personality.
Yeah.
But in my case, I'm an asshole, so we try not to do cocaine.
Yeah. He's the asshole. I'm the cool one.
Yeah, he's chill. I'm not.
Yeah, he turns into a whole nother person. I don't know what the hell happens.
Yeah. It flips the switch.
Yes,
so to
it does. Yeah, him and cocaine don't mix.
No.
But
me and anything don't mix.
Yeah. Ultimately, by 2016, I left my child's mother, and this is the addiction. I gave up a right to be a dad, and here we're sitting here on Father's Day, man. Like,
I know. By the way, happy Father's Day to everyone out there. And Zack, I know what you feel. Trust me. So Zack is in the same situation that I am with his child. And the only difference is do you get to see your... No, you don't get to see her at all?
No.
Okay. So that's the difference between the two of us, bud. You hear me?
Yeah.
I have actually seen Julian, and he's grown up to be a really, really cool kid, man. He's 6. He'll be 7 in December.
Yeah.
Look, listen to me. You can overcome any obstacle. You hear me? Any obstacle.
Yeah.
And this, what you're doing right now, getting sober, getting your life together, gives you the opportunity to stand in front of a judge and say, hey, I'm not that guy anymore.
Yeah.
I have a job. I have a place to live. I'm doing things the right way now.
So
please let me say it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, ultimately that was my holding of everything, is that I kept trying to be a father that I didn't know how to be, and the judge had taken my rights, and they gave adoption to her to my child's mother's husband, who's in the Army.
Right.
And she's over there overseas right now, and she's getting the best care possible, and I can't be more thankful for that, man. That man has stepped up to be a father to my daughter, right, and done everything that I couldn't do, you know, and I can't interrupt that no more.
No,
you know, she's in a great place right now.
I do want to say this to you, our children inherently will search us out.
Yeah, exactly.
You understand that?
Yeah.
There's no doubt. If my son never ever knew who I was,
yep,
there is no doubt in my mind whatsoever that as soon as he was old enough, he'd be like, where's my, because they've already told him. Yeah. He knows. He is aware that he has, that Josh is his dad and I'm his father.
Yeah.
He knows this at 6. And by the way, kids are way smarter than I ever was.
Yeah, exactly.
Age. So again, something to think about.
Yeah.
You know?
And even though, like, I know she's in a great place, and I've already had a conversation. I'm not going to ruin what she has right now, right, and destroy her mentally, because she's not old enough to understand. Yeah. She's not, you know. But later down the road, I just don't want her to know, oh, he was a drug addict his whole life.
She won't know he was a drug addict. You know why? Yeah,
because I'm turning my life around.
Because when she meets you now,
yeah,
you're not.
Exactly. And this is that was like one of the main things that I struggled with. So I was able to get that burden because I didn't know how to be a father.
Right. Yeah.
So I've had multiple relapses since then. I went to rehab back in 2022, blah, blah, blah. Didn't work anything they taught me. I just wanted to get away from where I was at, you know. Right. Yeah. Multiple
the justification.
Yeah, you know, I wanted to show somebody that I was trying. I didn't want to go back to jail ultimately, right, in 2022. Yeah. This last relapse, I was moved from the oceanfront area, mm-hmm, to Newport News back in August of last year by, mm-hmm, some great people, which I shout out them, the Hearst family. Mm-hmm. They got me away from that side of the water. Right. They did everything they could for me. They got me away from everything, right, and I'm totally grateful for them. Cool. I ultimately ended up relapsing in October due to my back problem coming back. Right. I was working at McDonald's 50 hours a week. Bad idea.
Don't push yourself.
Yeah,
you're limited. You gotta know your limitations.
Yeah, and I didn't know my limits. I just was, right, chasing that money, you, right, know. And ultimately, I relapsed on the meth again. And in 3 days, I lost my mind. So they end up dropping me off to this behavioral health center.
That's what I was going to say. Tell these people. I want you to tell that story because you told it to me already.
Yeah.
Tell these people what happened when you developed that mental psychosis from, yeah, the staying up multiple days from methamphetamine. Tell them what happened when you went to the hospital.
So I went to the behavioral health center, the psych ward. I didn't know I went to the wrong place. Mm-hmm. And I'm hearing voices, so I'm like, yeah, they're going to take me. Cool. They didn't want to take me. So I went into their bathroom, and I shot up so much meth that I overdosed on methamphetamines.
Stop there for a second. It's interesting that I should point this out to you guys. This is actually a fallacy. You can OD from a large dose, yeah, of methamphetamine.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Anyone who says that you can't, you're not a doctor. You can't make that call. Yeah. Doctors will tell you. He can tell you he OD'd.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's on my hospital paperwork. I seen, yeah, that. I was mind blown. I was like, what?
Wait a minute. I OD'd on that?
I overdosed? How did that happen? Methamphetamine, yeah, overdose.
Yeah.
So ultimately, they called the ambulance at the psych ward. They loaded me up into the ambulance. I woke. They put me in a coma because I had a heart condition.
Right.
Ultimately, gave me a whole bunch of Ativan, which is a benzo.
Right.
By the way,
Good job.
Yeah, give a drug addict.
Let's give a drug addict some benzo.
That's just
great
overdose.
Idea. That's a great idea.
We're gonna calm them down by giving them some more drugs.
Yeah.
And then ultimately kicked me out of the hospital 5 days later. It's your end of your
stay. So they just kicked you out because your insurance, no insurance.
Well, no, I had insurance.
Oh, you had insurance?
But yeah,
So why did they kick you out?
It was the end of my stay. They felt like that I was just staying there.
They couldn't do anything to help you.
Yeah, exactly.
So they just kicked you out.
Yep, they got me a medical transport to a homeless shelter that night. And that was like the worst but best experience I ever had, sleeping on that shelter floor.
I want you, listen, I want you to tell these people how bad it is in one of those shelters.
It was enough to say that I didn't want to live that life because I didn't have anywhere to go.
And everybody's in active addiction.
Yeah,
everybody.
Yeah, everybody. They were getting high outside of the shelter, and I'm just like, oh, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
The shelter I slept in that night. They loaded me up on a shuttle bus. They took me to a day center that was in Hampton.
Right.
They asked me what I was there for. I said, look, I need help. I need to go to rehab. This is not working. I don't want to continue living like this.
Right.
I have nowhere to go. They set me up with a case manager there at that day center.
Yep.
And she promised me she would have me in a bed in a rehab by the end of the day.
And she did.
And within 2 hours, I called the same rehab that I went to the year before.
Right.
And they sent me there.
Nice.
Which I was thankful for.
Yeah.
That was my last day of use was 10/28, 2023.
That's a thing to be proud of, Zach.
Yeah.
It is.
I did my little 28 days there. I stuck with it. I had a lot of health issues come by. I was ultimately put on Suboxone, which I don't recommend. Suboxone sucks.
It's so it's habit forming.
Yes,
like
it
methadone.
Is. Yes.
I'm gonna cut you for a second. Methadone and Suboxone are habit forming alternatives to the opiates. Okay. The problem is that once you take them, they have what they refer to as a half-life. So if you take them for a week, it takes 14 days for that drug to get out of your system. And then when it does, you go through withdrawals, much like the narcotics. Now, you decided to opt for Sublocade, right?
So
the injection.
So but let me go. So I did the 28 days at the little program. Then that's when I ended up at Evolution House. Within 30 days of being there, they sent me to a place called Addiction Recovery Services of Virginia. That's out in Williamsburg. Dr. Brown, which I recommend highly. The place is great. And that's when they introduced me to Sublocade. And I was all about suggestions. If somebody gives me suggestions, I learn to take them. Yeah. They said
me too.
Yeah, and that was the best decision. And I'm still on Sublocade.
So explain to everybody out there what Sublocade is. What it is. All right.
So Sublocade is a extended release shot that they hit me in my stomach with every 28 days, and it's a gel. And every day that it releases a certain amount.
Time release, right?
Time release for 28 days. I only do it once a month. Right. And I'm at a point now where I don't even remember that I'm on it, you know? I'm not looking for that everyday film thing.
Dose.
The dose. Yep. And I'm actually in the process of starting to step down to get off of it.
Can I ask you a question? It's related to that.
Yeah.
When you go to meetings, do you tell people that you're on Matt?
I don't come out with it, but if somebody asks, I will.
Have you noticed that when you tell people you're on Matt, they treat you differently?
There's a stigma that's put on it. Yeah.
Do you know that they actually? I'm not. I want to make sure. Hold on. Disclaimer right here. I am not shooting shots at any 12-step program.
Yeah,
I
that's
am
a
not
big part
shooting
of my
shots
report.
at any program.
Yeah.
I am merely stating that the people in the programs make it unsafe for people who are newcomers that come in that are on Matt.
And I just want to say, that in my opinion, that they're more worried about other people than themselves.
Right.
When
They're
they
more
do
concerned
that,
with what somebody else is doing. Why?
And
that's the
the
you know
problem.
What? You're still stuck in your sickness. If you're
Exactly.
doing that, you are still sick.
You need to worry about yourself and not everybody
Worry
else's
about your recovery, not mine.
Yes.
You know, and so I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell a little story real quick. I don't want to cut you off, but I want to tell this.
I got nothing but time, baby.
It's relevant to what you're talking about. So when I was in Maryland, I was going to a 12-step program. I'm not going to denote which one, but I was going to a 12-step program. I was on that. Myself personally, I believe in 100% disclosure.
Yeah.
Unless it's going to hurt someone, hurt me, I believe that you should always tell the truth. I think it's important to tell the truth.
Yeah.
So I told people when I went to this 12-step program that I was on MAT. I was on medicated assisted treatment. Do you know that I was ostracized? Do you know that somebody literally got up during one of the meetings after I told somebody else, got up and said, "Oh, I don't think that anybody that's on MAT should be able to go up there and get a chip." Wait a minute. Does that sound disrespectful?
Yeah. Who are they? Who are they?
I got 30 days. I'm not sticking dope in my arms.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not snorting it up my nose.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I'm not sticking it in between my toes or whatever the hell.
It's called drug of choice for a reason.
Right. DOC is DOC. Yeah. My point is, could you imagine the poor guy who came in to get his newcomer chip and somebody stands up and says, "Oh, you're on MAT. You shouldn't be able to get a chip."
That would run me out the room.
You would run people out. So, that being said, there are some people that follow me that are actively dealing with substance use disorder, mental health disorders. Please, I encourage you, don't let anyone ever dissuade you from doing what you have to do for you.
Exactly.
Love yourself. It's important. And
let that.
And that's enough of my mouth.
Yeah.
We're here interviewing him. I'm running my mouth.
That's some good info, man. For real, because I stand by that 100%.
It's important.
It's important because I've seen that too.
I want to make sure that you know that though.
Yeah.
And if you haven't been impacted by it, at least you're aware.
Yeah.
So now you know, and somebody told me that they actually put literature out on that.
Oh.
No, for real. Like one of the 12-step programs put literature out stating that if you are on medicated assisted treatment, you should not get a chip. That is pathetic.
It's not a part of my pathway, I'll tell you that.
My path is, well, you know what my path is, and I'll tell you at the end of this episode. Anyway,
so I got into Evolution House.
Right.
They ultimately, I still have a lot of health issues because the records of my past has come back to haunt me.
Right.
I've had to have radioactive iodine treatment done for my thyroid.
Right.
I've had done physical therapy for my back. Mm-hmm. I'm now in physical therapy again now.
Right. How's that going?
I just started. It's a little rough. Trying to work 2 days a week at McDonald's again. I went from doing nothing, laying in a bed, just enjoying life and doing meetings.
Right. And being sober.
And being clean, And I did 7 months, and that's the big part about Evolution House was they were more worried and cared about my health and my well-being before they sent me on my way.
Yeah.
And they gave me more time to fix myself.
Right.
I did 7 months ultimately there. I became a big part of their program. Mm-hmm. They've stayed in contact with me. They did a lot for me. They got me these glasses right here. They paid $479.
Now that's the kind of thing I'm talking about right now.
Like, this is what they did for me. Like, my insurance didn't cover $479.
And they took care of it.
They're Nike glasses. You see these things? They took care of it. You see these things?
Right. They took care of it. You know why? Do you know why people do that?
Because they care, man.
Because they care.
They care.
Because they're not there for a paycheck.
Yeah.
They're there for the people that are
in. And that's what a big thing about Evolution House is. They're all in recovery. Everybody that works there has been through what I've been through, and they genuinely want to give back what they were given. you know.
And these guys are peer recovery specialists, right?
Yes.
So-
So Ryan and Jeffrey are the owners. They both met. There's a big story out there. You can check them out. They're out of Williamsburg, man. I would encourage, if y'all want to go get help. They have 2 parts of programs. Their houses are amazing. I was living in like a mansion, bro, and that's the environment that they want to. They teach you how to learn to live on your own.
Environment.
Yeah, and that the second part of that program taught me how to live on my own again.
Yep.
Because now I'm at McShin Foundation in Richmond in a sober living house, and I know how to live on my own. I have that routine and structure to be able to bring what I learned there to this sober living house. And if it wasn't for what I was taught, I'd be hopeless. You know, all that time that I had would have been wasted. With being here in Richmond for a month, I've been able to get a job, live my daily life on routine. I've taught myself a routine. I have a home group that I go to every night on Zoom that I service every night. That's a big part of my recovery. My sponsor, he's amazing. Shout out to Jack. I love you, bro. That's my fishing partner. Yeah, man.
Hold on, I'm going to interrupt. Isn't it crazy that being sober is so much fun?
Yeah, man. I get to enjoy things that I used to not be able to enjoy. Yeah. I get to do things, come out to places like this that I don't even know about. Yeah. And this is amazing to me. Like this view, I'd be sitting here like, why are we here? You know,
a little known factoid that Zack didn't know this, but the location that we're currently filming at is the Virginia War Memorial, which also, by the way, used to be the site of the oldest prison in Richmond. This used to be the address for Spring Street. There was a huge prison right here. Wow. That was notorious. That was also used for Civil War prisoners.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Now it's a war memorial dedicated to those people who protect and serve this country and our freedoms. So I'm sorry. I know I posted that in there, but to me it's important. Yeah, it might not be important to you, but it is important.
Yeah, it's our history, man. That was where we're from. And you know, the last time I ever been to Richmond was with you.
I know.
Yeah.
Factoid. Another factoid. So. Zack and I took a road trip one day.
Just random
as hell, because we were on drugs.
Yeah.
And we were doing drugs. And came to Richmond and ate pizza.
And bottoms
up. And then just drove back.
Yeah.
Because we could.
Yeah.
Well, you know, when you're a dope dealer, you can do that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I remember we got out the car and you were more worried about the weed. You stashed the weed in the gas tank, but kept the real thing in the car.
But the dope was just laying in the car. Like, what? I hit the weed in the gas tank, the gas cap, but I had the dope just laying out in the center console.
What the fuck, Tom?
Well, drugs.
Yeah.
Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Drugs. So look, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Buddy.
Yeah, man.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you tuning in tonight. I'm going to post this here shortly. And
I'd love to give my story more, man.
Everybody, please, comments, likes.
Yeah.
Zack Ellis, everybody.
Yeah.
My friend. And
I love you, bro.
I love you too, bro.
Yeah,
and before we go, I got one thing to say.
Be kind.
Be kind.
It's free.
It's free.